Hi, everyone. Today we'll be doing chapter 10 of Usability and Presentation of Information. My name is Nutrin.
And I'm Vanessa Callahan.
We'll start off with the quote from Steve Jobs. Design is not just what it looks like or feels like. Design is how it works. All right. So first slide, presentation and visualization of information. So all information that is used must be communicated clearly and effectively. The people using these visualization must understand the information being used before they can present it. Information from graphs, charts, and other data visualization can help with decision making. So what is data visualization? The definition of data visualization is the process of taking the output from analytic tools and processes and visually presenting that information to help in decision making. So there are different ways that data can be used to visualize. Some examples are bars, columns, and line graph. You must determine what information and messages you want to show to people, and then you can decide the appropriate types of charts or graphs for it. There are specific types of charts for different information to be effective. So data visualization functions. Data visualization can benefit in HCO in many ways. Some of the functions includes identifying the trends for quality and performances, communicating goals and objectives, sharing results of improvement, and making the statistical analysis more easy for people to understand. Some common ways for visualization are used. It's number one, relationship. Relationship, which determines if the correlation exists between two or more points. An example is to see if relationship exists between the time waiting in the waiting room and the time left without being seen rates. Number two is the comparison between different variables. An example is number of admission of each of the hospital inpatient units over the last month. Number three is composition, which demonstrates a complete picture of a variable. An example is the tally. The example is the tally of the different surgical procedures performed at a outpatient surgery clinic. Number four is distribution, is to study how data points are distributed throughout data set. Number five is trend over time, used to plot a time series of variable. An example is the number of patient arrival to emergency department. And lastly, number six is used to detect when values deviates from baseline levels. This table from table 10.1 shows a suggested mapping of information and the display techniques. It shows which type of charts or graph is best used with different types of information. So let's say relationship, you'll be using scattered line or data table. Comparison, you'll use scattered line, bar, column, pie, and data table. Composition, bar, column, pie, data table. So it really depends what type of information you want to show, and these are the best type of techniques for it. This slide shows two different types of charts using the same exact information. There are different techniques in order to make graph presentable. So the chart on the left is the example of a chart chunk. It has so many different information on one chart. The one on the right shows a chart with the chart chunk removed. The chart on the right is a lot more easier to understand than the one on the left. So with the exact same information, but without the chart chunk. So better information display. There are different ways to display your visualization. Some of the problems for poor visualization includes explanation, discrimination, and construction. To improve your data visualization, you can make it stand out, removes clutter from the data, use reference lines when needed, and to strive for clarity. So the next slide, Vanessa will be talking more about dashboards.
Hi. So dashboards are a great way to present your information efficiently. Steve Few from our textbook defines a dashboard as a visual display of the most important information needed to achieve one or more objectives, consolidated and arranged on a single screen so the information can be monitored at a glance. Most decision makers use dashboards to determine existing problems, where they stem from, and assist on solutions that they're looking for. The most important factor for a dashboard is to make sure that the information is clearly displayed to avoid any confusion to the end user. Next slide, please. So this dashboard example from the textbook shows it highlights performances from the emergency department. It illustrates current versus past performance, as well as targets that have been exceeded and achieved. Next slide. So what makes a dashboard successful? It really should be well designed and clearly stated and clean looking. We have some design hints here for to use as you're creating your dashboard. One is to focus on the indicators that are most critical to the quality and the goals of the organization. We should only include indicators that are aligned with the main goal, and anything that's not relevant should be omitted. Two, display appropriate indicators, select visualizations and approaches that make the information pop and stand out. Three, don't be afraid to develop multiple dashboards and try to avoid overcrowding on your page. So you would create multiple dashboards instead of overcrowding. Number four, avoid all necessary clutter and make sure everything is nicely organized. Five, include all end users in the design. You want to make sure that you are keeping in mind and consulting all the end users so that they know and are aware of all the functionality of the dashboard. And six, make sure the dashboard is as visually appealing as possible. It should be attractive, functional, and relevant to the goal of the organization. Steve Fuse also from the textbook lists some essential display media components that help with your dashboard and makes it functionable. Common display components are graphs. They're the most common way to display data analysis. Icons are simple images with clear meaning. They do not contribute to clutter, and they're most effective if they're shown as circles, squares, or triangles. Text is the most useful for communicating information if a graph is not suitable for your dashboard. Images help clarify or highlight information, such as a diagram or a photo. So providing accessibility to and ensuring usability of analytics. One of the ideals of BI and analytics is self-serve, where the decision makers who need information from dashboards or reports can access the tools within a portal, run the application, and retrieve the data. The idea for self-serve is obviously that people can get what they want without the help of an analyst. There are two barriers to self-serve. One is poorly designed portals, and two is time-consuming reporting. There are a few examples of enhancements on how to avoid barriers within the textbook. One is organize efficiently. Make sure your information is logically organized. Two is provide documentation. Make sure comprehensive documentation is available and that it clearly outlines the structure of the dashboard. Three is reduce and reuse. Try to consolidate or eliminate old information and bring them all into one report that is easily read. And four is minimize runtime. So you go in and you identify root causes that are slowly performing, causing your analysis to slowly perform. So some of these current issues, we found 2 articles. I found the article by Erin McCoy, Data Visualization Transforming the Health Industry. And this is an article that states how data visualization is efficiently displayed. Data is showing how it's a vital part of healthcare and has reduced time spent on data analysis by 65%.
And number 2, the second article I found is The Rise of Dashboard by Tammy Lovell. This article talks about the use of dashboard during the pandemic. Dashboard was used as a tracking resource. It can show the overview of available beds, ventilators, or even numbers of patients in the ICU. This article talks about the benefit of dashboard, especially during the pandemic. So me and Vanessa has some questions for you. The first question is, do you think data visualization is necessary? And can you find the right data visualization? And how can you find the right data visualization for your information?
And 2, as an administrator, how will you use dashboards to improve your HCO?
All right. Thank you.